I'm having technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Hey, everybody. It happens. When I try new things, it doesn't always work as well as I want it to. But we're going to get started anyway and not worry about it. So, good morning. Nikki Burnett here, Taste Life Radio. I'm here with the beautiful and amazing Esther Lee Leach of Cherry Creek Fashion Magazine. And I'm so excited about this because I love fashion, although it's not my world at all, but I love seeing the new clothes and the new things that are coming out and what's to come. But, you know, this magazine that Esther has founded, she's the editor-in-chief and the publisher of the magazine. But it's so much more than just a fashion magazine, which is why I really, really wanted to have her on today. So thanks so much for being here, Esther. We're so excited to have you. Yeah. So, Taste Life Nutrition Radio, what are we about? We are about truth. We're about health. We're about fun. We talk about dog health. We talk about, you know, the health of our family and our friends. But we also want to jump outside of that. You know, we want to talk about mindset and our mental and emotional health. We want to talk about the health of our communities. And that's really what today is going to be about, is, you know, with so much of the craziness that's going on, we need to focus on our own health. We need to focus on our family's health. But it's really also about, you know, in doing that, we're also, you know, creating more health within our communities. And so, you know, it's that snowball effect where I'm healthy, I'm doing my very, very best for myself, then for my family, and everybody does that, and it creates this bigger, better community. And then you have those who are really, they're focused on themselves, but they're also so deep into the community that they're also doing their part in building the health of that community. And so Esther, that's why Esther's here. She truly is really bringing community and you know, fun and togetherness and promoting business and promoting her business. And it's that amazing, beautiful entrepreneurial spirit that just really shines, especially here in Colorado, but all over, you know, those who are in a place where they have to do their own thing or they want to do their own thing. It's that entrepreneurial spirit that really keeps this country going. And so, Esther, thank you so much for being here. I'm super stoked.
I'm so happy to be here. You know, I love you, so this is going to be a treat for me.
Yay, it's so fun. So let's start with you, if that's okay, and talk about what you're grateful for. We always like to talk about, you know, start the show with what we're grateful for, because that's how we kind of start the day, right? I like to start my day that way. I do my journaling and my prayer time and that kind of thing, and we'll think about what I'm so grateful for. So what are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for the people in my life. I'm sure you know by now that I'm a people person, and I've been so lucky to meet some incredible people. So that's what I'm grateful for. All the amazing people around me will keep me inspired and motivated, like, every day.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I am too. And I think, though, being from Texas originally, and the craziness that's happening in Texas right now, I'm grateful that as far as I know, everybody that I know is safe and warm. I know that found out last night that my best friend had to bring her parents to her house because they hadn't had electricity for it was 24 hours or something. Anyway, so people are working through it. The state's going to work through it, and you know, these things happen. But I'm grateful that everybody's, you know, happy and healthy, and you know, moving past a crazy snowstorm in Texas. I mean, all the way down to Houston. Houston doesn't get snow. It's hot and humid there.
They're just not used to it, so nothing is sort of built for it.
Right, exactly. It's crazy. So super grateful for the health and the safety of everyone in Texas, and a shout out to everybody in Texas. Okay, Esther, let's start talking about you. This is one of my favorite parts. I love to start the show this way because we get a real feel for, you know, why I love you and why I wanted you to come on the show. But then, you know, again, that entrepreneurial spirit, where you came from. You have such an amazing history, and so I want everybody to know, you know, kind of what brought you here today, and then what motivates you to keep going.
Okay, so how much time do we have?
We have the full hour.
I'm a Caribbean girl. I'm from St. Lucia, a very small island in the Caribbean. And I've worked in media and creation like all my life. Like I remember when I was like a teenager, I was 14, my sister and I decided we want to do a TV show. And we took 2 years planning and doing everything, and then we did it. Because we grew up in a household where my mom would say, whatever you want to do, go for it. It's going to be hard work. You'll have some difficulties, but if you just go for it, at least you will get something done. Don't just have a dream and not do it. So that's the sort of background I came from. So if I think of an idea, I always think that it's possible to do it. No matter how crazy it is.
Well, so
it's to live because you try.
Mm-hmm.
So I started, my first job was in TV. I was like a TV host and a producer when I was a teenager. And we went from there just doing a team show, a travel show. We produced lots of music videos, and then I started writing for newspapers as well at the same time. So I'm very old. I'm back in the newspaper press days.
I love that. And you're
that's how old I am. But that's when I started my writing. I've always loved writing. Both of my parents work in media, and they're writers as well. They're published authors. So I grew up in that environment, and I just loved it. I started writing about like politics and culture first, and then I started writing about lifestyle and fashion, because with all of that, I also used to model. I always do multiple things at once. So I just love fashion. I love style. I love keeping up with the trends. So I started writing about fashion, and I went to work for a magazine called She Caribbean Magazine, and I stayed there for a couple of years, and I became the senior fashion editor. And I covered like Caribbean Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week for the magazine. And then after doing that for a few years, I thought, okay, I really, really want more. I want to get my master's degree. So I packed my bags and I moved to London to go to London College of Fashion there to my master's in journalism, in fashion journalism. And I just love London. It's like the freedom there of being wherever you want to be. Like the fashion scene in London is incredible. And it's not based on, designer names or how much things cost. It's just based on your personal style and what you love to wear, which is really, really freeing. It's a free environment to learn in. So I did that for a while, and then I met my husband on the train platform in Notting Hill. It's very, very cheesy.
I love it.
British man walking with his umbrella. So I met him, and then we had opportunity to move to New York for 3 months for his work that he did. And we moved there and we absolutely loved it. So we ended up like staying. So we're here. We've been in the US for about 11 years now. Okay. We're both now citizens of the US. And after New York, we moved to San Francisco and then Denver. And Denver has been home for us now for about 6 years.
So what is it? And sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you go from each coast, right, and then to the middle of the country, where it's beautiful, but it's, I don't know if it's like, would you say San Francisco? Is that what you said? San Francisco and New York?
Yeah.
Not quite. I didn't know it was quite the fashion scene as New York and San Francisco. So glad you're here. I mean, you bring so much to Denver, but why?
So it was my husband's job, and when he came home and he said, well, somebody contacted me, we've never been to Denver, but this opportunity sounds great. And I looked at him, and the first thing I said was, is there fashion in Denver? And he said, I don't know, let's go see. And the second one was, are there any black people in Denver? Seriously. Because I've never been to the Midwest, and when you live on the coast, you just think, okay, mountains and cowboys, how diverse is it? What will I find there? So it sounded really exciting, so we said, let's go visit. So we came for a weekend to Denver, and it was just really nice. People were actually dressed up more than I thought they would be. And you could just talk to anybody anywhere, which is how I grew up in St. Lucia. You can strike a conversation in a line, just waiting on the street, on the sidewalk. You say hi to somebody, and then you get to know them. And I'm used to that environment, so I absolutely loved it. So we moved here in 2014.
Okay. And now you have a little one, right?
I do. Colorado born and bred.
Yeah. How old is he now?
He's 5. He just turned 5 in January.
So cute.
Oh,
so cute.
He's adorable. He thinks he's 19 though. That's the funny thing. He thinks he's a teenager.
Wait till he's 19, right?
I know. He's already like very tall, like reaching me to my waist, so he's gonna be like, when he's 19.
Well, you're so tall. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so you come to Denver. Was it your plan to start a fashion magazine?
No, so I really had no plan. I worked in fashion, worked in media, did lots of blogging in San Francisco. Still consulted with our TV production company in the Caribbean with my sister who still lives there. So I was doing all that. So I came here literally like with no plan. I said I'm gonna come here, see what the market is. When I first moved here, I got pregnant like a few months after. So I just thought, you know what? I've never slowed down in my life. I'm gonna slow down now.
Good for you.
It's really good for me. So I took the time off, and I was really, really lucky too. My husband works hard to feed me. So I took the time off, and I had a baby, and I stayed home for 2 years with Hunter. And I'm really happy I did that. I don't know if I should have done it for that long though, because I love working. I absolutely love working and creating, and I really miss that. So when I was home with him, I thought, you know what, I really want to do my own stuff. What's out there? What's not out there? What am I missing? Yeah. So I'm a reader of magazines. I love print. I love online. But I just wasn't connecting with the magazines I saw in Cherry Creek, in Denver, and in Colorado. First of all, we weren't diverse enough at all. I hardly ever saw anybody looking like me, so that was a problem. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to hear more interesting and inspiring stories from people from all different industries and all different backgrounds. Right. You know, I love models. I still use models now, but I want to know who's behind the model, like who's designing the clothes, who owns the store, who's doing the makeup, and that's the sort of people I focus on in the magazine all the time. Mm-hmm. And a lot of entrepreneurs like yourself, a lot of businesswomen, businessmen who are starting something and who can inspire others to sort of just like go out and achieve their dreams themselves.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And, you know, just because it's a Denver magazine doesn't mean that you shouldn't check it out, because there's so much amazing information in there. And we'll get to this, but, you know, the Health and Body magazine that just came out, it's the January-February issue, is so broad, and there's so many there's so much to that issue, and again we'll get into it a little bit later, but it is such a beautiful magazine. The photography is amazing. I mean, you do basically all of the work.
I do a lot of the work. I'm very lucky to have amazing like editors and contributors and freelancers like yourself.
Yes.
We'll talk about you in a second. But I do a lot of the photography myself. I love doing it, and I've developed a certain style for the magazine that I like seeing throughout the different stories. And people seem to enjoy it, so I think I'm doing something right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, people love it. And so is it okay to ask you, do you plan to expand?
So right now we're actually covering other areas. So we cover a lot in Rhino, downtown, Lohi, even like we're developing like a bolder fashion segment now for the magazine. So even though it's like based and grew up in Cherry Creek, it's now covering like all of Colorado.
Awesome.
And what I'm planning for future issues is to cover like other countries as well, because I've been really lucky to have friends and connections in countries all over the world, from Jamaica to South Korea to Australia. So I kind of want to bring that into the magazine and just expose people here like to more of what's going on like out there, and more interesting personalities in different countries.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. I'm super excited. I'm going to take a quick break. I want to talk about a company that I truly love and appreciate. It's a company called Rightful. This is a company who built their supplements are focused on pain management. And so one of the things that I'm always talking about is we don't want to cover up pain. We want to understand what the pain is. But sometimes, and I use my sweet husband as as an example, where he has a fused ankle, you can't treat that pain with supplements, or I'm sorry, you can't treat that pain with nutrition and lifestyle and these things. Really, you have to have something. And so doing something other than taking ibuprofen or taking aspirin or these things that can be really damaging to the body, doing something that works with the body. That's what Rightful does. Rightful is sold in pain management clinics, which is also something that I love and appreciate, is we're bringing now, the Western conventional medicine to the more functional, holistic world, and is starting to combine, which is what we need in medicine and in nutrition. We need the conventional, but we also need the functional all together. So we need to bring that together. It is a product with, you know, the pain management component of it is curcumin, which is a turmeric. It's the active component of turmeric, and it is a beautiful, beautiful product. It works well. It helps with sleep. It helps with focus, mental clarity. I love it. I love taking it, and so you can check it out. There's a morning and an evening product. It does go in the refrigerator. It tastes great. But you can check it out. You can go to Rightful.com, put in my code TLN20, and get 20% off. Check it out. I think it's really, really a beautiful, well-rounded product, and it works so, so well. So check it out, and let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about the way that you support the community and the way that you collaborate with the entrepreneurs in your community, and really, you know, that could go so many different directions, but you know, we could talk about, you know, how you've held up in the last year and how you've helped to kind of, the way I see, kind of, you know, tie the community together a little bit when there's so much madness and people don't get to see each other like they did. I mean, we would see each other every single week at least, and it's not that way now. I'm hoping we're getting back to it, but you know, let's talk about how you went, you know, how the collaborations worked before and how maybe they've changed, and maybe how you've grown in the process. There's a lot there. Sorry.
I know. Where do we even start?
I know. My mind just keeps going.
I know, the thing is, I'm really lucky that my brand is a digital brand. It's not like in print. It's not like a boutique. It's all online. So there's a lot of flexibility there. There's a lot of ways of keeping costs down when producing content when you're online. And I could change things easily. So when this started happening, for the April issue last year, it should have been a travel issue. We had everything planned, our bags would be packed, we were going to go to Antigua to shoot the most beautiful Caribbean travel issue. I'm still planning on doing it as soon as we can, but everything, you know, hotel was booked, we were ready to go, we had the issue planned, but we just had to pivot. You know, the models I'll bring with me, they couldn't go anymore, the borders were closing, we might get stuck in Antigua, which is really bad, but we have to work. So I just pivoted. I said, what do people need now? What does the community need now in this time? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to create a community issue. So April 2020 was my community issue, and I reran stories that I'd ran before. So I just looked at all the best stories about entrepreneurs and businesses in Cherry Creek, and I just created a whole issue about it. It was like a multi-cover with probably about 10 people from Cherry Creek on the cover, and just like talking about their businesses. Because at that time, I think it was like March, I was planning it. We couldn't shoot. We were all at home during lockdown. We had to all stay at home, so I couldn't do any shoots. So I thought, you know what? I have so much great content. I have new readers now, new followers. I'm just gonna rerun all of those beautiful stories based in Cherry Creek, and that's what I did, and I got a really good response for that, because people just wanted to see their community at the time. They wanted to see familiar faces and hear sort of inspiring stories in the midst of all the madness.
Right, yeah. Well, so your magazine now it started, we talked about this a little bit a few minutes ago, and I just think it's amazing what you did. So it started January of 2019, and it was weekly. Yes.
Yes. So I'm crazy and I love to work.
With all that you do, I was like, what? How did you do that?
I know. Slightly crazy, but I wanted to get out into the market right away. I wanted people to get used to me and the type of stories that I do, like immediately. I have no patience for this. So I thought the best way to do it is to put out a lot of content continuously. Sort of just being consistent really, really works in a market like this. So I thought I'm going to start a weekly magazine, keep the issues very, very small, but have great stories, about two or three in each issue. And every single Monday morning, I put out a new issue. I don't even know how I did that.
I know.
But every single Monday for months, I put
Uh-huh.
out a new issue of the magazine. And then it just started really growing, and I wanted to do bigger stories and bigger shoots and have bigger issues. So I decided to change it into a weekly, no, it's a monthly magazine in June of 2020 or 2019. I'm mixing up my years now.
Yeah, I know. It seems like everything's kind of.
Like we lost the year.
I know.
So yeah,
I
June
know.
2019, it changed into a monthly, and it really, really grew steadily from there.
Awesome. And so you have a lot to the magazine. So I think one of my first questions is, how do you decide? How do you decide who goes in it and what you? I mean, I know. I guess there's just so much going on in Cherry Creek, and now that you're expanding, there's a lot going on in Colorado and beyond.
Yeah.
And so how do you decide? It can't be easy.
So I'm really like into people. I'm always asking who's interesting, who's doing something amazing, who's inspiring, and also who's nice.
Yeah. Yes,
I'm kind of too old to
right?
date anybody who isn't nice. You know what I mean? So I'm always talking to people, looking around, looking on Instagram, walking into the boutiques, just like meeting people on the street. I'm from St. Lucia, so we talk to anybody anywhere.
I love that.
And sometimes I meet the most interesting people just chatting with them on the street. But to make my life a little easier, I actually have a theme for each issue. So like the January issue was the body and wellness issue. March is going to be the spring fashion issue. So I try to fit all the interesting people like into the different themed issues. So it kind of flows throughout the issue of the magazine.
Right, yeah. And it really is beautiful. And so you had, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the first Health and Body issue was in 2019. Is that right?
No, it was in 2020. January 2020.
Oh, they are getting smushed together. Yeah, I just did the same thing. Wow. Okay, so, and which was beautiful, but I feel like this January, of course, it was two of them, but it's huge. It's huge. There's so much content. I was reading through it and reading about all the people who are in it and all the content, and it really is, it's amazing. And the photography is beautiful, and the writing is beautiful, and it's just such a beautiful, I mean, again, I don't mean to, just, stomp on this. You gotta check it out because it's so great. I just love it to pieces.
One reason it's so beautiful is that you're the nutrition editor, and I'm so lucky that you signed on. The content's amazing. I read it every month, and I think I have to do better for Nikki. I have to eat better, I have to take better care of my body for Nikki.
Oh, I love that.
I feel bad when I see her. Like, you have the best stories ever. People really enjoy it and they get something from it.
Oh, good.
It's like really, really good advice that you can incorporate into your life instantly, which is amazing. And I just thought at that time, what do people need at that time? Coming out, well, we're still in the pandemic.
Sure.
But we need to take care of ourselves. So I try to sort of tailor the articles on giving people advice, just trying to feel good about yourself, eating properly, trying to exercise, having a good mindset. So I just kind of, put the issue together on what I thought people needed at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's smart because, coming from, a health and wellness background and being really frustrated with all that's going on, because what we're seeing is so much fear, but we're not seeing how to take care of that fear. So, when it comes to, conventional medicine, you've got, media that's just gone crazy with all of this stuff. But it's all about fear. Nobody talks about, let's actually figure out what it is that you need to be healthy so you can take care of yourself, so you don't have to, worry about any illness, let alone, COVID-19, but any illness. We want to take care of our bodies. And that is nutrition, it is movement, it is mindset, it's prayer and meditation, and it's this holistic approach to the body, which is exactly what's in the magazine. And so I wrote down, we have community, mind, body, soul. We've got sauna, skincare, business and innovation, fitness, you know, the healthy boutiques and recharging and resetting so much. Dry January, I love that one. How to make the most out of a dry January, or you know, I'm sort of butchering the title, I think, but and then working out at home. So all of these things that are so relevant to what we need now. You know, we need these things now because nobody's talking about it. You know, I'm beating on it all the time, but I'm just one person.
Self-care is also, to interrupt you, self-care
No,
is like an overused word, but now more than ever, we sort of need to double down on self-care and like work harder on doing it and taking care of ourselves, because there's so much going on in the world, you know, and I'm really lucky. I still have a home. I can still feed my child. So many people cannot at this time.
Right.
But there's still so many other stresses that you take on and you don't even realize because of what's going on in the world. So you really have to pay attention to your body, to your mind especially, and take care of yourself during this time.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. And I think there's a disconnect in understanding the connection with mind and body. You know, where your mind goes, your body's going to go. And where your body goes, your mind's going to go. So you've got to connect the two and understand that there is a connection. There's a physical connection between our, you know, gut and our brain and our entire body. But there is this, you know, it's the true mind, body, spirit. It's all connected. And if our mind is not in a good place, our body's not going to be in a good place. And so, you know, I can, you know, just kind of, you know, ramble on about this all day long. But I do feel like sometimes I'm just beating it up because probably anytime I'm speaking, whether it's a Facebook Live or it's out live or it's, you know, on the show here, I'm constantly saying nobody's talking about how to be healthy. Everybody talks about vaccines and testing and, you know, staying away from each other. Nobody talks about let's be healthy, let's work on our mindset and our food and moving. You know, people are afraid of leaving their home. I'm like, you can go outside and walk. It's okay to go outside and walk. So I love the magazine, and I love that you also include into the body. I keep saying it wrong, but the health and body
wellness issue, I think.
Oh my gosh, my words. But you know, you include, you know, because it is still bringing the community together, business and innovation, and bringing together the entrepreneurs and letting everybody know in the community and beyond, and now it's, you know, in the state, what we have at hand here. You know, we have so much access and the ability to be healthy, and you know, even if we can't go into the store, which I think a lot of it we can now, but you know, we can go online and still take care of ourselves and still work out at the house and go for walks and not drink so much alcohol just because you're inside. Just saying.
All right, wine.
I know. I still do love wine, but I'm trying not to. There was a point where I kind of fell into it like everybody else did. I'm like, what am I doing tomorrow? Well, I'm going to have a glass of wine because I'm...
You know, early on in the pandemic, I think we drank almost every day because we were home, we were bored, we were stressed. So like, ooh, let's have a glass of red wine.
Why not?
After a couple of months, my husband and I thought, okay, we can actually continue doing this.
Yeah, yeah. Thankfully, you kind of get to that point and the realization of my body's not happy, my mind's not happy. It's time to, you know, even if the world is still in a weird place, I need to get back to me and take care of me, you know, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. I take care of me, which means I'm then able to take care of my family, which then also then means the community is going to be healthier as well. And it's another thing that I just keep sort of harping on is take care of you, because if you take care of you, you are building the community and you're creating a healthy community. So anyway, I have a couple of soapboxes that I didn't jump on and stay on for way too long.
We love it.
Okay, I'm going to do another real quick break. We are, of course, streaming live here on KUHS Denver. Henry is the man behind the scenes. Thank you, Henry, for all that you do. This is an amazing radio station, and they do so much for us here. So, streaming live, KUHS Denver. The next sponsor that I want to really give some kudos to is Zymogen. They're a great sponsor, really good people. They're another supplement company. I'm very, very particular about the supplements that I take, that I give to my family, and that I give to my clients. I'm a data girl. I need data. I need to know that there's science behind the products, that they're good, that they are going to be beneficial and not detrimental. And there are a lot of supplements out there that are detrimental, whether it's because your body doesn't need it or because it's not what it says it is. So Zymogen is a data-driven company. Their products are amazing. They have products for pretty much anything that you need, but I'm going to say that with a big caveat: know what you need. Check them out. Don't just, we don't want to waste money on things that we don't need. We also don't want to take things that our body isn't going to be happy with. And just because it's a great company doesn't mean that you have to have it. But they are amazing at what they do. They will not put out products that are not top of the line. You cannot get them on Amazon or eBay or any of those other places, which is very important to me, because then I know that the quality is there. If you buy off of Amazon or eBay, you don't know the product is that product. There's data behind what I'm saying, and it's really scary what people will sell you that is actually not in that bottle. It's awful stuff. So you can go to my website, tastelifenutrition.com, and at the bottom there is a button. It says Whole Scripts. Whole Scripts is the ordering piece of Zymogen. So click on that. You can put in Radio 5, get a discount, check out everything that they have. They've really, really got some beautiful products. Find out from somebody who knows your body, or if you know your body well enough, then order, but don't just don't just say, hey, I think I need this, and you may or you may not. So find people who know how to help you and get you what you need. Zymogen's a great company to go to. Okay, so let's see. I think I want to get into now, and we discussed a little bit, what would be good to talk about. And so what I love, we're talking about supporting each other, supporting entrepreneurs. There often is, and I think that some of us are getting away from it, but there can be competition. There are people in the community, in all communities, that do the same thing. There are lots of functional nutritionists out there, and I try to partner with those who maybe do things a little bit differently than I do, or maybe have a little more education than I do, whatever the case may be. But it's not about being competitive when it comes to people in your industry. It's about supporting each other, lifting each other up, because there are a lot of people out there who need help in many, many different ways. And so what you're doing with this magazine is, and these are your words, and I loved them, so I'm going to keep them, is leading with kindness instead of competition. Let's talk about that, and tell me what that means to you.
It means like putting collaboration over competition, and it does not mean that you're like a doormat. People take advantage or don't kind of keep an eye on what's going on in the market, but you just sort of pay attention to what you're doing. Like, I really believe in my vision. I believe in what I'm doing. So I spend more time thinking about that and making that better, making myself better, instead of like, oh my God, what are they doing over there? I want to do that too. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not going to be authentic to you and your brand. So it's not, it doesn't make sense sort of like copying competition and stuff like that. Now, saying that, I've had to deal with other people in the market copying a lot.
Really?
I guess it's a good thing. I mean, some magazines have copied my font, my style, my tagline. What? Even copying like literal photos from the magazine and putting it in their magazine, which they had to apologize for. So I do keep an eye on what's going on out there, but I don't give energy to it. And like, if I see all that copying going on, I just think, well, you know what? I'll continue leading. You guys keep on following.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just concentrate on what I am doing. And I think that works. And I love collaboration. Like, when I first started, I went out there to meet all the other editors, the other magazines here, because I thought, you guys are here first. You know the market. I want to meet you. I want to like put you in the magazine and feature you, which was a great thing to do. I remember the first issue, it was Dana Lapinell. We used to be an editor of Cherokee Lifestyle magazine, and we had a great relationship. And it's a good thing to collaborate. It's okay. Like, when you believe in your vision, you know what you're doing, like, that works much better than worrying about what the other person is doing down the road.
Right.
You know, it just works better for business. But that does not mean you don't keep an eye on if they're copying what you're doing. It's crazy, but I guess it's a good thing. We're doing something good over here at Cherry Creek Fashion.
Yeah, no, I agree. But how is it that people can, and pardon me, just be so ballsy as to use your stuff and not and think that they can get away with it? I don't
know. Maybe because I'm so nice, but nice is not being pushover.
Yeah.
I'm from the Caribbean, hey.
Right.
But yeah, I think some people just think, oh, she's nice, I'll just take it. But no, I will call you out if you do that, which I did with this other magazine in this same market. I won't say who you are, because I am nice. But they printed an apology when I called them out, which was great. But you know, it happens. People are going to copy, people are going to try to emulate. And it's okay. That means you're doing something right. And that you're a leader in your market. You know, it's a good thing. Just concentrate on you. Try to kind of make what you're doing better instead of checking out their product, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, agreed. I would imagine that as many places as you've lived and worked and focused, I feel like, and I might be wrong about this because obviously fashion world is way far from what I know, but I feel like, is there a lot of competition, or do you find a lot of collaboration just in the fashion world, period?
So Denver is really a collaborative market, which I love. Like a lot of the things I do here, all the collaborations I do here, I couldn't do in New York.
Okay.
Because it is a really sort of cutthroat competitive market there. But Denver is very much like London. London has a lot of collaboration as well. And people want to work together because in the end, you know that the product is better because you're bringing in all of these talents from different companies and from different industries.
Okay, yeah. No, that makes sense. And that's the great thing about Denver, too, is we are really an amazing entrepreneurial hub. There are lots of organizations that are out there to support the entrepreneur, to help the entrepreneur get going. And I love to see that. There's, in particular, and I have to call them out just because I've worked with them a little bit, but the Commons on Champa they are an amazing group of people who are there. They give free to super inexpensive services away to help, you know, it's a lot of women, it's a lot of minorities, but everybody who wants to be an entrepreneur, who has a vision, really helps to give them that boost. And I just think it's, you know, we have Denver Startup Week here every year. Yeah, Denver Startup Week is amazing, and I believe that it's expanded now. But to have resources as, oh my gosh, I remember when I first started out. No, I still don't know what I'm doing, but especially when it comes to business. But you know, knowing that there are resources, and I went to Denver Startup Week when I first LLC'd my company, and I mean it's a week of seminar after seminar after seminar after seminar after networking and hanging out and getting to know people and making connections. It's really amazing. In all of downtown, and I don't know how it was this year, I'm assuming it was very different, I didn't go, but you know, when everything's normal, downtown is packed, body to body, full of people who are entrepreneurs trying to learn and understand and build their business, or there to give information and help people. You know, you've got attorneys that are there just to give away free information and to help people get going. So it's really a beautiful thing, I think, about Denver and how supportive
they are. I just talked a week before I started the magazine. I went in 2018, and I just thought it was the most brilliant thing. I just signed up all these panels, got all of this inspiration from different business leaders in the community, and that sort of fueled me to continue working on the magazine before I launched next year.
Yeah, so much fun. So what I see is really you are leading by example, and I think that it's really it's an awesome thing. You know, I kind of said it earlier, you're just a little bit of that, you know, kind of tying the community together, because you're there to support and to build, and also build your own business. And then there's I've seen a lot of people, a lot of businesses collaborate just because of you and because of your magazine. And I just think that that's really awesome.
So good.
Yeah.
But I think I'm lucky. There are
Right.
so many amazing business people, especially women-led businesses in Denver. People ask me, how can you keep finding new people to interview and to feature? Because there's like an literally endless supply here because Denver is such a good city to start a business. There's so many people here, and I'm really lucky that they want to work with me. Like one of our friends who we love, Amy Dickinson,
Yeah,
signed
she's
up
been
really
on the
early.
show.
We love her.
Yes.
She's the chairman of our Cherry Creek Chamber now. She also owns Live Love Lash and is a co-owner and Hydrate Ivy Bar with Katie Wafer, who we also love.
Yes, she's
And she
also
was
been on
one
the
of
show.
my first supporters and collaborators. She's now the beauty director of the magazine. I have no idea how she gets the time.
She does so much. I don't know.
Yeah, but she's one of my biggest supporters. I go to for business advice all the time. You know, I'm just lucky to meet these people, and I have some wonderful editors like Annie Bloge, who signed on very early on. We were friends before, and now she does most of the interviews for the magazine. She works with me a lot. And then I recently signed on Michael Silverman, who is the new business and innovation editor, because I really wanted sort of like a business angle to the magazine, really kind of digging deeper into the entrepreneur's journey, like their difficulties, how they come out of those difficulties. And he has a really good podcast called What Didn't Kill You with Michael Silverman, and he's an excellent interviewer. So now he is doing these same sort of questions with business people in the community, which is very, very exciting.
Yeah. So that makes me think of, you're talking about the podcast, and I'm going to check that out. I think that that's amazing. I didn't know that. You have Cherry Creek Fashion TV.
I do.
Let's talk about that, because I see it in the magazine. But let's talk about what it is and what you want to do with it.
So I'm trying to revive it. We had a little bit of like a dead sort of section during the pandemic, but my whole background is TV and video and film, and I love creating content. It's like easily digestible content. Like not everybody has time or wants to read through a feature. Like I have a 5-year-old. I know how it gets. Sometimes you want to, put on a video while you're cooking or doing the dishes or something. So I have started doing these very short videos on different topics, and I'm going to be reviving it this month or next month for the March spring fashion issue. So I'll be producing a video called the Spring Trend Reports by Cherry Creek Fashion. And it's going to be a video interviewing different boutique owners and stylists, Amy as well, just talking about the spring trends. Like, let's get out of our pajamas and yoga pants and joggers. Let's get out of our sweats and sort of, just have a sort of renewed feeling. A lot of it's still going on, but we can, just get up and get ready every day. Just put a little makeup, just kind of feel better about ourselves and the world. So that's what I'm going to be producing for spring.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a really good point, is, when we talk about our mental and our emotional health, obviously our physical health, but I think, I could be wrong about this, but I think that when we get up and we don't do something with ourselves, and I'm guilty, I'm not saying that I haven't done it at all, but we don't face the day feeling our best, right, then I think it kind of puts if you don't feel your best, you're not necessarily going to do your best. And so, I think it's time, as you said, so let's get out of the year, I can't believe it's been a year, but this year of just kind of feeling lost and not doing I think people are doing their best. People are really innovating, which I love. But I know that for a long time I didn't put a bunch of makeup on. I didn't want to put a bunch of makeup on. And sometimes I still will wear my yoga pants and a nice sweater or whatever for Zoom calls.
Sometimes we need to.
But it is time to get out and in whatever capacity that is. Get out, get in the sun, connect with each other in some way. What I loved, so for the spring issue, I was blessed enough that Esther took some photos of me It's not my favorite thing at all. But
You're beautiful. Do it so well.
She makes you so comfortable, and I just love that you're so good in front of the camera and behind the camera. It's just so much fun. But I totally lost my point. I do that at least one time a show, I think, which means I need to work more on my brain.
That's okay.
I know what it was. It's coming back to me. It was getting back into Cherry Creek. Going to Cherry Creek, I was in my car and went to Cherry Creek, and we took photos. We were inside, we were outside, we were safe, we wore masks. Don't worry. But it was that little feeling of normalcy.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that everybody, I think, is starting to crave that and are looking for it in whatever capacity that it is. And I think in any way that we can do it, I say we start doing it. You know, obviously.
I know. Because at first I started out like not sort of having any in-person meetings, not going for coffee, not going for dining. And like just like a lot of us, I'm just a social creature, and I need that. Like, I need to see my friends, I need to go out. So now I sort of do it safely. Like, it's freezing today, but on warmer days, I'll have a socially distant coffee at Aviano, which I love, or have a lunch meeting on the patio at Le Bloquet, where I always am.
Yeah.
But it's just like you kind of need that, and then you help keep all these businesses going as well.
It's true, and I think that that's another focus of that is, supporting the businesses. You know, we have so many who have just, failed, which is heartbreaking. You know, amazing places, and especially the mom and pops who, they put everything into their business, and they probably won't ever be able to come back, and it's heartbreaking. So getting out, doing whatever we can to support each other as small businesses, support each, especially the restaurant industry. I'm just heartbroken for the restaurant industry. And so we had an interesting, we have a church that we go to, and for a while he would announce at every service, okay, this is every week, this is the restaurant we want to support this week. So I would imagine they were members of the congregation, but he's like, okay, now go to this restaurant. Now go to this restaurant. And I just thought that was the best idea.
Really good,
and it's a big church. And so getting the entire, at least, a lot of the congregation to go and just give them that boost. If there are things that we can do, I'm not that creative. I'm trying to think of ways of doing that. But, getting out and just, we're all struggling, but just that little extra to help keep everything going. We gotta, we gotta stop
I'm so
singing.
impressed with those who are going now, because if I was a restaurant, I don't know if I could do it. Every week was another pivot, another new rule.
Yeah.
Spending a lot of money on outdoor stuff, and now it's not. Things were changing so rapidly all the time, and they just kept on going, and that's really, really admirable.
Yeah, it's true. It's been tough. So let's stop talking about the tough stuff. Let's talk about what you do. What do you do to take care of you and your family?
Oh my gosh, really simple. Like, I love just hanging out at home, like in my PJs on the weekend. Like, our Hunter comes into our bed, and we sort of just lay in. He watches cartoons, we chat, I read a magazine. Like, really simple stuff like that, like, makes me happy. Having a glass of red wine, not every night.
Not usually.
Stuff like that, just hanging out, spending time with my family, spending time with my friends, having a good meal, having a good coffee. I'm getting old now, so simple things like a cup of tea makes me happy.
I know. I agree. I'm kind of the same way. It's spending time with the husband, spending time. We love our home in our backyard, and it's a little harder this time of year. But spring, which is coming, I can't wait. It's about time to start planting seeds for a garden.
No.
But that's what we love, is spending time in the backyard and in the sun and hanging out with the dogs, and having a cocktail here and there. And we love to smoke. We've started smoking ribs, and
nice.
They are getting better and better.
Oh,
I'm
now
just
I'm
saying.
hungry.
I know, me too. So anyway, it's been really fun that's part of, I think, what I've done is, some experimentation with food, especially with meat and with the smoker, and that, if I have the smoker or the grill involved, that means my husband's involved. So it's a win-win.
That's really good. And yeah, we love cooking too here. My husband's British, so he's in charge of all of the big roasts.
Yeah.
He cooks like the turkey for Thanksgiving and the duck and the pork roast. Now I'm really hungry actually.
I know. Well,
and I cook lots of like Caribbean food, like stewed chicken and rice and peas and plantain when we can find it.
Yeah.
So we love doing that too.
Oh, that sounds okay. I'm coming to your house soon. I love plantain.
Bring your ribs.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we are getting to, well, we still got 10 minutes, but I'm curious, where are things going for you? What do you see for your, I don't mean to sound like, your business coach, but what's your, your year plan, your 5-year plan? What do you think is going to come of all of this?
So I think just building the magazine, making it bigger, and sort of pushing like the multimedia element to it, like doing way more video content. I mean, that's where the world is right now. Yeah. People want that instead of like written content. So doing more of that and just growing and growing, getting more advertisers, call me.
Yes, yes.
And just doing more like brand partnerships and really good content with bigger companies like all over the world. Like now we have readers in California, New York, like Texas, the really high readership, high Texas, and different countries around the world. So people all over the world want inspiring, stylish stories like we produce for the magazine. So like just making it bigger and creating more content. And then during the pandemic, I also pivoted and I created something called Cherry Creek Studios. So it's like a photography and video production company, and I have started doing it for smaller businesses, producing like photography that they can use for advertising for their websites and stuff like that. So that's been really, really fun.
That's really good, and that's such a need, especially when you're an entrepreneur starting out. You have to have photos, and it's not always. Well, it is fun. I think once you get into it, it's fun, but it's overwhelming to be the center of attention, at least for some of us. But it is fun, and I just think when you're with somebody, and so I can say this because I was with Esther a couple of days ago taking some photos, but when you're with somebody who knows what they're doing, but also make you comfortable and make you breathe, because
most people stop breathing when the camera starts clicking, and you can see it in the photo in the neck. It's like really stiff.
She would ask me, "Are you breathing?" I'm like, "No,
no,
I'm not breathing." I don't know why that is. I think it's so funny, but I think that's such a great place to be, and I just think I would imagine it's so much fun, fun working with entrepreneurs. That's one of my favorite things about this show. Although it is a health and wellness show, I don't think I've had a single person on who's not an entrepreneur in one way or another. And so I love to support and talk with the entrepreneur in all areas of business, which is why having you on, we can talk kind of about all of it, because you cover everything really, and it's just beautiful. So.
Yeah, because even though it's a fashion magazine, I always say like fashion is just the vehicle for us to tell these stories. It's like the background information, and now let's get everybody in there. Yeah. So everybody from all different industries like has a story. Like when you take the time to ask people about themselves and their lives, there's always a story there that you can learn something from. There's always something interesting there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And getting back to just figuring out what it takes for each of us to take care of ourselves and learning what other people are doing, which is why I wanted to find out, from you what you do, talk a little bit about what I do, but it's in all of the magazine, and just getting back to taking care of me, taking care of you, and I think it's so important.
I made it a priority this year after the madness of last year. I'm like, I really must take time to take care of myself more, because I am a workaholic. I'll fully admit it.
I
Like
love yes.
my work is my childhood dream. So it never feels like work. I always enjoy it. Like I always want to be on set. You know, I'll do it 24 hours a day if I could. But I really have to pay attention to, like, you know, taking the time, take a bath when I can, like put on a face mask when I can. You know, just like Netflix and chill when I can. You have to kind of take the time whenever, like doing my yoga, which I love doing, and just like breathing throughout the day makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, agreed. Are you doing yoga at home?
I am. I try when I can. I just signed up for like ballet bar classes.
Oh, fun.
I want to try that. I need some more exercise motivation.
Yeah, you know, it's not always easy. We continue to go to our CrossFit gym. And so it's so big that it's, you know, you can stand 10, 20 feet away from each other and never be close to anybody. I mean, it's really a great spot. But there was a couple months where we didn't go, and I could feel it. I could feel that I wasn't going. And plus, that was also when it was super shut down, and so it was more food and more alcohol, just like everybody else. And it's so important just to move. And, you know, I really notice in myself, if I'm not feeling great one day and I go to the gym, I immediately feel amazing. I mean, the gym might be hard. I'm like, oh, this is so hard. But I get out of it, I'm like, whatever was wrong, the fatigue, the headache, whatever I had, it's gone. It's amazing what moving the body can do.
And that carries on into other areas of your life, because I always find that I'm way more efficient at work if I'm taking better care of myself, if I'm moving more. Like you take those same lessons like from the yoga mat into your work life, your family life, which is really helpful.
It's true. And that's a really good point. You know, when we were looking at us as entrepreneurs and being our best, you know, we have to, I mean, everybody has to perform, but I think, you know, there's a lot riding on an entrepreneur's shoulders in many, many ways. And we, you know, feeding ourselves the best and moving and all of these things go into actually building your business, whatever it is. Or maybe it's building your family, or it's helping someone else build their business, whatever it is. But all of it creates success. Good food creates success. Rest creates success. Movement creates success. You know, helps your mind to function, your body to function. And I love it so much, and I love that we can really see it and feel it, and then you can take it out into the world. You know, you take it out into the world and you present as your best, and you build things like Cherry Creek Fashion Magazine.
Check it out. Sign up, subscribe. It's completely free. It's just cherrycreekfashion.com, and you can subscribe to the magazine.
So how do people reach you? What's the best way for people to get hold of you if they want to advertise, whatever it is that you need? How do you?
So you can just go to the website, and right on top there's a little like envelope, little email. Click on that and it'll go straight to me.
Awesome.
Or you can DM us at Cherry Creek Fashion on Instagram as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this has been amazing. I've been trying to, I have literally, I think it's been, I don't know, 6 or 8 months maybe, that I've been trying to get Esther to come on with me. There's just so much going on, but I love what you're doing so much. You're doing such great things. I'm so excited to see where things go for you, for the magazine, for everybody that's involved. And so thank you for coming and hanging out.
Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you so much for giving us such good features every single month.
Oh, I love it. I love that you like it, because every month I'm like, I hope this is okay.
No, I love it. I was like, what should I be doing better this month? That's what Nikki says.
So this month we're talking about conception. A lot of people, you know, wanting to have some babies, but we want to take care of our body before we go into trying to have babies. So read about that. Good stuff. And I'm excited for the new edition to come out. So as you know, I'm Nikki Burnett. My show, this is Taste Life Nutrition Radio. My company is Taste Life Nutrition. All of the social media is Taste Life Nutrition. So pretty simple stuff. Feel free to reach out if you have questions for me. If there's something that you want to see on the show, I'm open to whatever you would like to see and hear about. So Feel free to go to my website. You can check out, I have a free assessment on the website where you can fill that out. It goes straight to me. And with that, when we talk about what it is that we might be able to do to help you in whatever it is that you're dealing with, or if maybe we need to schedule some real time to get together, then we'll do that as well. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Esther, for hanging out with us.
For having me.
Yeah, and we will see all of you in 2 weeks. Thanks, guys.
Bye.